Hunter Biden was indicted last night, and the reason why you don't really hear that many people talking about it is because no one cares. There are a lot of important things happening in the world right now, and chasing Hunter Biden's dick pics is really not a top priority. But unfortunately, it is a top priority for the losers in Congress who do nothing except for spend your taxpayer dollars on bullshit fake investigations to send bombs to Israel so they can continue to wipe out innocent children in Gaza, and useless committee hearings that they use so that they can get clips for their Twitter. Because after all, they're in the business of misinformation, and in order to try to impeach Biden, yes, they are still trying to do that. Not for enabling war crimes, though. They love that. They believe that they have to go after Hunter. Let's talk about the charges for just a second. The charges span 9 counts, including failure to file and pay taxes, evasion of assessment, and a false or fraudulent tax return. Let's pause for a second there. Why are they indicting him on that? This is not a defense of Hunter Biden. I don't give a fuck about this Nepo baby. I'm not a conservative. I don't think I need to cape for anyone. Like, fuck Joe Biden and fuck Hunter Biden. If they can find some crimes that he committed that are actually worthy of being prosecuted and sent to jail for, by all means. He's not my daddy. But the Republicans don't understand that concept because they make all their, politicians their heroes. And Republicans fall in line. Well, I mean, that's good for them when it comes to winning elections, but, it also means they're in a cult and they never question their daddies. First, U.S. Attorney Weiss bowed to Republican pressure to file an unprecedented and unconstitutional gun charges. The thing I love about that is how much they're telling on themselves. Everything is about Second Amendment rights with these people. Second Amendment rights, Second Amendment rights, Second Amendment rights. But then when it comes to Hunter Biden, they're like, charge him. And the same goes with the taxes. Think about this for a second. Anytime a right-winger like Trump doesn't pay their taxes and you find out that they cheated their taxes, or an oligarch like Jeff Bezos, they're always like, based. He's smart. Trump is so smart for not paying his taxes and cheating them. But then when Hunter Biden doesn't pay his taxes, which he has since paid them back, they have been paid back, they're like, throw the book at him. He should be in prison for life. I mean, they're just so full of shit. They have zero principles. Zero. Everything is tribal. They keep praising the IRS whistleblowers that came forward with the information about Hunter. These are the same motherfuckers who say that they want to defund the IRS. So the IRS is awesome when it's going after the rich piece of shit in Hunter Biden when he's cheating his taxes. But when Congress passed a bill that added IRS agents and specifically funded them so they could go after the other oligarchs and rich tax cheats, all of you have vowed to get rid of them and to defund and to abolish the IRS. So again, no fucking principles, no fucking ideological consistency. You see how this makes no sense? Fuck the IRS. The IRS should never be going after rich tax daddies unless their name is Hunter Biden. Like I said, this is all a part of their attempt to impeach Joe Biden over corruption claims, but there's a huge problem with that. To date, federal prosecutors have never found any evidence backing the GOP claim that Joe Biden was in business with his son. That's not stopping them from talking about it 24/7. But I got bad news for you guys, for you on the right. Nothing is gonna happen. And you want to know how I know that? Because the claim about Hunter Biden, this part, the true claim that he had no business sitting on a Ukrainian oil company board and making money, because that is pay for play and that is corruption and that is foreign lobbying, is what every one of those motherfuckers in Washington, D.C. do. So that is how I know that they will not go after him in the end, and they will not charge him on that. Not because he shouldn't be if they prove it. If they do, like I said, throw the book at him. I don't fucking care. The corruption in DC is out of fucking control. But you think he's the only Nepo baby? You think he's the only one trading on his father's name? You think he's the only one doing foreign lobbying or sitting on the boards that he's not qualified to sit on? As creepy disgrace schmeta-schmile Alan Dershowitz said on Sean Hannity last night, this is par for the course in Washington, D.C. This is how they all fucking operate in that disgusting, vile swamp. So they will not prosecute Hunter Biden because that would open the door. They don't want to set the precedent of going after corruption because that would indict all of them.
You explained to this country tonight how it's possible that somebody that is admittedly addicted to drugs and alcohol, somebody that has no experience, is making millions of dollars from all of these countries, even our top number one geopolitical foe. Why would they be paying him that kind of money if he has no experience? Does that make any sense to you, Professor? Because it doesn't make sense to me.
Listen.
Oh, it makes complete sense. They wanted access to the president. It's called the American system of lobbying. You pay people to give you access. There's no doubt that he was not qualified to have any of these positions.
Okay,
There's no doubt.
But let's look at it legally.
Okay, but
Are they then paying for influence, and is that a crime, Professor?
Well, they're paying for influence. That's clear. It's a crime for the person paying for the influence. Whether it's a crime for the person who was to be influenced, that's something that has to be looked
Okay, then let me
into.
press you further.
And that clip right there tells you everything you need to know about this. Everything else you're hearing, and you're hearing it over and over and over again, it is just noise. That was the answer. Did you notice how quickly Sean Hannity wanted to move off that? He did not want to talk about that. He's like, wait, let me another question. He did not want to talk about it because, as he said, it's called the American system of lobbying. He's like, well, isn't that a crime? If that's a crime, somebody should tell Jared Kushner he needs a new lawyer. If it's a crime to make money in China, somebody should tell every single fucking politician and Trump and his daughter who make millions and millions of dollars in China. They try to obfuscate and they try to distract you by obsessively talking about Hunter Biden's dick and obsessed about talking about his addiction as if that has anything to do with Joe Biden either. And I fucking am so disgusted by that. As somebody who is in recovery, some of my family's in recovery, my husband's in recovery, so many of my friends are in recovery. Like, you're trash for trying to make that a thing. You want to go off about him being a Nepo baby who shouldn't have those board seats because he's the son of a president? Go off. But these people are always scraping the bottom of the barrel, and that's why they have to constantly drag him through the mud for his addiction. Because they can't link his money making to Joe Biden. There is currently a genocide happening in Gaza right now that the US is propping up, and they want to talk about Hunter Biden's dick pics. That's your tax dollars at work, folks. Our tax dollars are being used to do these bullshit investigations that nothing is going to come from, so that our corrupt lawmakers can do theater on the floor of the House. They don't do anything for us. They don't do anything on behalf of the American people. All they do is use our tax dollars to fund genocide, fund foreign wars that we should have nothing to do with, and fund their fucking salaries when they barely even work a couple days a week. And when they are there, they're just sitting there doing puppet shows for their useless fucking committees. That's the story. That's all. And everything else you hear is fucking noise.